But I do want to talk about Liv Morgan and her revenge tour and vowing to take everything from one Rhea Ripley. And that leads to one Dominik Mysterio coming out after Liv talked up the kiss scene, not on national television last week, but on social media because WWE and USA missed the time cue to show that finish on last week's show. So Dominik comes out to supreme heel heat, and he can barely get a word in edgewise, but he's talking about how he's going to make it up to mommy. This isn't going to last, and you're going to pay. And Liv's like, I don't care. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down together. And she
Bonnie and
is
Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. We don't need that very violent finish. I don't need bullets of glory here. But Liv proceeded to tempt Dirty Dominik Mysterio. She put that man in the corner and she started to rub up on the chest. And, Dom was trying to be one of the strongest soldiers in the world, trying to maintain your composure, trying to keep it together. And, Finn came out there, and I'm laughing at Finn because I saw on social media earlier because he did say, I am the designated cock blocker from last night. I cock blocked every chance I got. Get away from us, Liv. But Liv says, make me. Do you really want me to stay? Do you really want me to go? Asked Dominik. And then before she leaves, she goes in the corner. And this is what made Dominik fold ever so lightly. She got in that man's hair, massaged that scalp.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Hey, you get in the back of the head, boy, and start rubbing that head. That'll do it.
She found his spot, and a smile crept on his face ever so slightly, and he folded just a little bit, and she walked away, and she smiled. And I loved it. And you know why I loved it? Because it's good drama and it's good soap, and you don't know where it's going to go, because right now we see Dominik fighting temptation. Is he really fighting? Is he playing? We don't know. It could go either way. He could go with mommy and they can set Liv up and it'll be a great moment, or he can totally flip. It could go either way. That's the brilliance of the storyline and the Easter eggs WWE has dropped along the way. It's great. And for anyone that has pushed back on Liv, numbers do not lie. Her segments with Dominik are the most viewed on YouTube. They're highly engaged on social media. This angle is working. It's working in the arenas. Listen to the people. They were all up into it. So, yes, this is working, and Liv is really good at being a temptress. No doubt about it. She's great at this.
So real quick, shout out to Dom, because Liv would have had me at hello. I'm just saying, man, like, real talk. Shout out to Dom, man. Like, that's about as much as you can do in that situation. And then also, we got to get on the snitch Pat McAfee. Okay, this dude brought out a whole replay and it was diagramming. Dom smiling. He showed the eye contact. Like, come on, Pat. Bro code. You know better. You can't do that. I wanted your opinion first, and I mentioned this off air. I wanted you to kind of lay out what you thought about it, because I saw a lot of pushback on it, and I saw a lot of kind of, in my opinion, real wild claims as far as how the segment came off and what the segment was, and some things never change and blah blah blah. I everything you said at the end about the soap aspect of it, because nobody knows whether Dom is in on it or not. And like all the tea leaves, the entire story, this has all been leading towards it. And it's not like Dom, I mean, let's keep it a buck. Dom never pushed her off and was like, no, or stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of where it's like, is Dom in on it? You know what I mean? We've seen them backstage together. We've seen them getting out of cars together. We've seen Liv and Finn getting out of cars together. Maybe he cock blocking for a reason. He said, listen, I ain't into the whole somebody filming and, all that stuff. I got the mask for a reason. It's one eye hole. One eye hole. Okay. So there's a lot of ways that this can go. Liv says she wants to take everything away from Rhea. This is fitting right into the story. And I saw one comment that was, flip the roles, flip the roles. And that is a fair comment, because if you can't do it gender neutrally, maybe you shouldn't do it. But I will say this: if the roles were flipped, the women would have, if they were, the woman who was being pushed up on would have smacked the piss out of whoever that male was. Like if that was Dom pushing up on babyface Liv would have smacked the piss out of him, and it would have got a huge reaction. So Dom can't smack the piss out of Liv. He just can't do that. You know what I mean? So there are certain things where you have to kind of take every story as it is. But I just think this is one where we need to let it play out and see what happens before we just make these crazy claims about what this story is.
It's a very delicate balance. I think I saw the same take from last week too regarding the kiss, and I do agree, because I do wish they would have took the NXT approach with Lash and Trick, that it was a consensual kiss and that they were both into it. It's a mix for me with that kiss on Monday. I do agree, because Dom wasn't reciprocal. And this week, it's like more of her, in his personal space and him fighting, but we don't know whether or not he's in on it or not. That's the thread of the storyline here. Is he really repulsed by Liv Morgan, or is he really into this and it's all a setup? Or is it a matter of waiting for Rhea to come back and it's the big reveal of who he's really for at the end of the day? I think that WWE has to be very careful in terms of the presentation of it. I thought it was a bit better on Monday, but yeah, it's the dynamics of it. You have to be very delicate with it one way or the other. And it's something they have to be very mindful of, because that perception is there. And in some cases, rightfully so. And there are going to be takes that are on the way side of the extreme. And then there's some in the middle where I'm at, which I'm totally cool with. But I just want to make sure that the story ultimately is told with that care and with a little bit of edge too. Like, you can do this and still do it in a way that is not going to be offensive, or is not going to be in a way that's going to turn off viewers. I totally understand the sentiment, because I kind of felt that way too. That's why I appreciated the kiss with Trick and Lash, because it was consensual. She was the one that kissed Trick, and he was the one that kissed her back. I just wanted a bit more of that from that kiss on Monday with Liv and Dominik. But I do like what I see moving forward, because now we kind of see Dom's defenses falling, because Liv came out to protect him this past Monday against Braun Strowman, and he was like, okay, that's my queen setting up for me. So we'll see where that goes. And Finn continues to be a cock blocker, and as you said, what is he blocking for? Is he blocking for himself? Because he has also been around Liv recently. We don't know what's really going on, so we'll see exactly what those dynamics will be in due time. But I'm looking forward to when Rhea Ripley comes back and what Dom is truly going to do when it all comes down to it. And I'm laughing at Jordan Grace, because this suggestion must happen at some point. It's been almost 20 years.
Here we go.
And even though Dirty Dominik Mysterio is not a blonde anymore, we need to have second. Yes, we do. We need to have a second custody of Dominik ladder match. Yes, custody.
No, so I don't think it needs to be in a ladder match. Well, if you do it in a ladder match, he needs to be hanging in a cage. There needs to be a key. Needs to be a key hanging. That's what you go get off the ladder, is a key and a contract. And you got to sign it and grab the key. So if you sign it but you don't get the key, you don't get Dom. So you got to get the key and the contract. Get him out that shark cage. I guess you didn't like my shark cage idea.
I was drinking water. That's what I was doing. It's live TV, needed to moisturize my throat. But it's all good. I do love the shark cage idea though. Now we need like Dom to fall through the trap and then fall in his
Mm.
lover's arms when it's all said and done. Someone will catch Dom and he'll find the love of his life when it's all said and done. But I'm all for this storyline. It's fun, it's soapy, it's over with the people, and it's got good engagement on social media and on YouTube. I mean, those are the metrics that really matter to WWE. And if the fans in the arena are rolling with it, then in a lot of ways the angle is working.